Hello, everybody. What's up? What's up? We already got some folk in the comments. Tiffany Henderson, I see you. Tiffany said, I made it. Thank you for making it to this episode of The Life of an Entrepreneur, presented by none other than Love Entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about who they are in a little while. I am your host, Oliver Marcel. If you don't know who I am an author, a speaker, and a coach in the relationship building and men's empowerment spaces. It's my goal to make sure that folk are living their best lives and having their best relationships and communicating on an extraordinary level and managing conflict in the best way possible. So that's who I am. We also got Karen in the house. Karen, thank you for being here. Karen said, I'm here. Listen, if you hear, shout yourself out in the comments. Share this with somebody because we have a phenomenal guest. Now, listen, I told you that this is sponsored by Love Entrepreneurs, right? Love Entrepreneurs is a fellowship that is all about helping ordinary people build extraordinary businesses. And I got a treat for you today because we're talking to none other than the creator of this fellowship. We're going to bring her on in a little while, Larry Coslet. So listen, those of you who are in the entrepreneur space, you already know that it's a journey. And I'm not going to share with you anything that you don't already know. The only thing that I'm going to say before we bring on Larry Coslet is that you need to be intentional about enjoying the journey. This episode is not about me, so I'm not going to get into my story. But listen, I understand what a journey is and what a journey can be and all of the nuances of this journey. And so the reason why this is put together is because you need a place as an entrepreneur or a budding entrepreneur or somebody who's thinking about making that leap into this entrepreneurial society. You have to be in a place where you can get encouragement. You have to be in a place where you can get guidance. You have to be in a place where you can have some camaraderie, where you can understand that you're not on this journey alone. And so the life of an entrepreneur, is for you. And I want you to enjoy this ride. Listen, it's bumpy. Here's how I say it. This is just me, my personal thing, right? So I often liken it to a roller coaster. Now, there are some people who love roller coasters. There's some people who are deathly afraid of roller coasters. I like roller coasters, but the entrepreneurial process for me is like being on a roller coaster. Sometimes I'm the guy screaming with the hands up, take the picture, man, this is great, this is great. Sometimes I'm the guy who's looking at the person next to me and is like, listen, dude, why the heck did you encourage me to get on this ride? This is crazy. What were we thinking? But that's what it is. It's the life of an entrepreneur, and we're having a great time. So listen, again, if you're here, shout yourself out. If you're watching the replay, say you're watching the replay. If you are here, share this with somebody. Share this with somebody who is an entrepreneur. Share this with somebody who is thinking about being an entrepreneur, because we want to get in a community where we can help people, ordinary people, build extraordinary businesses. All right, so listen, that's enough of me talking. You didn't come to hear me, you came to hear the guest. And today we have a phenomenal individual by the name of Larry Coslet. I'm not even going to do justice by attempting to introduce her. We're going to bring her on and allow her to introduce herself. Juan Lee is here. Yeah, Juan Lee. Neil is here. My guy Neil, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Juan Lee is in the house. Juan Lee, the author of the book Love Made Simple, a phenomenal read. Make sure you get that. Edward Smith is here. What's good, fam? It is indeed a journey. Edward knows that it's a journey because Edward is also an entrepreneur. Hey, listen, Ed, we might have to get you on the show at some point. And Juan, we need to get you on the show as well, too. We're going to talk about that. Neil, we need to get you on the show as well and introduce you guys to this phenomenal community called Love Entrepreneurs. Okay, I looked at my watch because here's the thing. It's time for me to stop talking. It's time for me to bring on Larry Coslet. You saw that Larry, if you saw the description, Larry is everything. I was going to list off all the stuff that she is, but let's just sum it up as everything. And included in that everything, she is also the person behind Love entrepreneurs, and we're going to talk about that. So listen, without further ado, let's bring on my friend, Larry Coslet. Larry. Larry.
I love the yeah, and then it just goes silent. Oh.
It is awesome to have you. Thank you for taking out some time. Larry is an extremely busy individual. She's running multiple businesses. She is, you know what? Let's do this. You tell us who you are. Who is Larry Coslet?
Oh God, you need to speak to my therapist. They probably know, or my shrink. They probably know better. But I've been on a phenomenal journey, and I describe my life journey so far. I'm in my chapter. I'm in my third major life chapter. I was a lawyer. I enjoyed a really great career. Hello, Karen Bashford in the UK. She's another phenomenal woman, and you'll meet her one day.
Indeed.
And I, enjoyed a really good career in law. I've traveled the world. I've lived for many, many years in countries in Central Asia, worked in law. I speak Russian. I left law. I had a property business, which was only supposed to be to help me pick my daughter up from school. It was just a bit of a hobby business that turned into a very successful property business. I then started with my partner a really successful buy-to-let business. Then that wasn't enough. We entered and started up our own bartering business. Then I started with my partner a couple of funds. And it all came crashing down.
Wow.
And it started in 2008, so I'd wrapped up the international property business because things were slowing down. But the lesson I want people to hear in what I'm going to say is not about, firstly, it's not about poor me. Okay, there's nothing about me in this. This could have been you. A lot of what happens in the journey of being an entrepreneur is circumstantial. For me, the attraction in creating businesses is about can I, not how much money am I going to make. That's the first thing. It is the creation of something out of nothing. That is what motivates me. So everything was created. So in 2007, 2008, the UK property market had come to a halt. We were all gearing up for this worldwide, recession, all created by the banks, of course. So international property had stopped working. People were not remortgaging their houses in the UK, so there's no market there. So we had to repivot, reposition, and we had to go to look at funds, and I met a wonderful guy who had an amazing fund, a really innovative fund idea, and I thought he was amazing. I did a master's in international commercial law, and I knew everything about shipping, so I specialized in shipping, and he managed to hoodwink me into departing with quite a lot of money. And we started our own fund, which was fantastic. And then shortly afterwards, we discovered he was running a Ponzi scheme.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm somebody that always plans meticulously for plan A, B, C, and D. I had 4 parachutes. And they were all opening one after the other. So my property portfolio by then, 1 wasn't enough, 68 probably wasn't enough either. That was my parachute. And I'd persuaded my partner to leave his very secure job in the City of London, which was a really stupid mistake. And when I look at my part in all of this today, I think, what a ridiculously naive and stupid thing that was. But that's age, isn't it? I'm 53 now. I know I look 21, but I'm 53. I was 30, 35 then, 34, and I was naive. I hadn't experienced what I've experienced now. I wouldn't make that mistake again. So the fund ended up collapsing. We were making vast amounts of money, and our income stream was cut off with no warning at all. So we had a £42,000 a month mortgage bill.
Wow.
With no income coming in to pay it. So we had to survive on our income from property, which we could do just. And it was all going okay until, until we discovered that a lot of our friends, our families had money in this. On and on it went. We'd lost £5 million, £7 million of our own money, 87 of our own clients' funds. Then the lawsuit started. So I can remember, actually, it was my 40th birthday. And I can remember opening the door thinking, oh, someone sent me a nice birthday present or maybe a bunch of flowers. No. It was Bob the bailiff, handing me a bankruptcy petition. Not lovely. So I can remember those days very well, and that was frightening. But it was nothing like what was going to happen next, which was the next iteration, was when we started to discover people growing cannabis in our properties. Wow. And I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, but it's a really frightening experience, especially if you're innocent of something and you have no knowledge. So, long and short of it was that, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this, but if you do discover a cannabis factory in one of your houses that you rent out, it will cost on average £25,000 to £30,000 to put that thing back on stream so it can start to become profitable again. So I was absolutely shocked to the core when the next thing we discovered was that my partner and I were under suspicion for being the ringleaders in this almighty mess. And I'm like, hello, can this get worse? How do I prove I'm really innocent? Is anyone going to listen to me? And I don't so much matter. It doesn't matter to me so much, whether someone's going to listen to me, but it was just the opportunity of being given a fair chance. How do you genuinely prove your innocence when you really are, when all the odds are stacked against you, when you've got, this whole detritus with this fund that's just collapsed behind you and everybody going, oh, it was you. I mean, sorry, but I lost all my money too, So it was just, it was the art of really having to dig deep. So to speed the story forward, my partner and I were, actually, before we go to the prosecution bit, I had become an alcoholic. There is no point denying it. I'm somebody that breaches my own anonymity. I'm a fervent fanatic of AA, and I wouldn't be. I'm over 10 years sober now, and it's because of AA that I'm here, because I'd be dead. And actually, of all my life achievements, I remember my father on his deathbed, he said to me, and he only died about 4 or 5 months ago, he said, the best thing you've ever done, Larry, is to give up the booze. And I was shocked because I thought, oh, what about doing this and speaking that? And he says, you know what, to a father with a child, all of those things are immaterial. And I've got my own daughter, Katrin, now, and I understand that as a mother. Mm-hmm. Watching your child destroy themselves in front of your eyes and you cannot reach them or help them is the most painful, or must be the most painful thing. But I started my journey in recovery in October 2012.
Okay.
And it was a defining day that changed my life. I had that one moment of grace where I remember looking at my wine glass. It was only 11:45 in the afternoon. Mind you, I was a 5 bottle of wine a day drinker. I was all around the clock by that point. And I remember thinking, I don't want to live like this anymore. So I stopped, and something happened. A power greater than myself entered my life, and I'm, and it does. It fuels me even today. Anyway, onto the prosecution bit, which
so hold on. Because I know you.
You know the story.
I know what you're about to drop a bombshell. So hold on. Before you do that, this, for those of you who are just joining, we're talking about the life of an entrepreneur, right? Mm. There's some folk in the comments as well, Larry, that I need to connect you with, right? This is one of them. Neil is a real estate guy as well. I saw Egu in the comments. That's another phenomenal gentleman that you probably need to have a conversation with as well. I saw Rob Howes in the comments. Rob, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Rob is part of this Love Entrepreneurs community as well. So I know what you're about to drop, but here's the thing. We're talking about the life of an entrepreneur, and you have, before I brought you on, I talked about the roller coaster piece of this, right? That I experience in this journey that I'm on. And what you just described is a phenomenal example of that. You were at the highest that you could have been.
Oh yeah.
You're making the money. You're running several businesses.
I was making millions, millions. And I'll tell you one thing. Let me tell everybody, because I share this honestly, the more money I made, and they used to call me Midas, the more money I made, the more unhappy I became. And the more I drank. How weird is that?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So can I just, for those that are listening, I'm a spoiler alert guy, right? So the spoiler alert is Illyria is back on top. Let's just give you the spoiler alert, right? So now let's drop the bomb, and then we'll dive into some of what this journey looks like, right? So drop the bomb, and then talk about what motivated you in the first place to even go down this road that you went on. So drop the bomb. Go ahead, because I know what it is.
Well, no, I mean, there's no great bomb. I think most people who listen to this can conclude,
Well, you know me, Illyria. I'm gonna hype up the story.
We went to prison, okay? Big deal. We were prosecuted, you went to prison. I mean, the police loved it because they were these posh kids, or whatever, and they read my CV out, and I swear to God, they thought I was in James Bond or something. Once they'd started on the Russian, it was like, but anyway, the point is we were found guilty. To this day, I have no idea. It was just one of those things. I can't attach blame or guilt or whatever. I just dealt with it in my stride. Why? Because I have I had a faith with me, right? I had a faith with me, so that was okay. So I decided, okay, if I'm going to be in prison, I'm not going to have a nervous breakdown like everybody else. I'm just going to turn this around to the best that I can possibly make it. And I taught women to read, from scratch. And I swear to God, Oliver, that was the most defining moment of my life in many respects, because to be able to be of service to people who cannot read, we take this for granted. It's a bit like being able to see. We take this for granted, but that actually was meaningful because there was no attachment to money. It was absolutely, real service, and I swore to God I would come out of prison and I would do something. Boris Becker, who I've actually corresponded with, because I had a crush on him when he was 17. He won Wimbledon, but when he was in juvie, I actually wrote to him and he wrote back, and I was like, oh, wonderful. But one of the things he talked about recently was he returned to being a human being. That's what his prison experience taught him, and it was very much the same for me. It was a really humbling experience, but an opportunity to work with other people, and in a non-transactional environment. You're doing it because you're motivated to do it, right? You're motivated to help other people. So when I left prison, I wanted to, there were 3 or 4 things I wanted to achieve, okay? Now, by the way, guys, I left prison homeless. I did have 68 properties, and one of my mates said, surely you could have saved one of them. And I'm thinking, not so much, Batman. No. So I left homeless, and I had £43 as a discharge grant in my pocket. That was it. So I wanted to create something for entrepreneurs which enabled them to thrive and survive. And I wanted to actually take people who'd been to prison or people who were on very low incomes on the entrepreneurship journey, because I fervently believe entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter how much money you've got, it's how you look at life. You take your luck as it comes. Your outlook upon life is open. You're like Tilope taught, in the 4th century BC. You are open to everything but attached to absolutely nothing. You're living life in a new dimension, which means you're able to fulfill the meaning of the word entrepreneur. In French means an in-between taker, somebody who takes in between, takes those opportunities that are in the cracks that others don't see. That's what it actually means. So I wanted to create that. Then I met a great guy from Bristol University, and we set up a fantastic charity called Grow Inspires for ex-offenders, and we give them the master's program free that we do at Bristol University. And then I give them a free membership of Love Entrepreneurs too, so they can come and talk about things. Neil D'Souza, they were all taken, and I ended up paying my partner and I, that was 17 million quid later, and all our money was used for the proceeds of crime orders for everybody else. So that's how it works in the UK. So let this be a lesson to all of you. But anyway, so when I left prison, I wanted to create four circles. One was I wanted to create something for entrepreneurs, so the charity. So I did that. But I also, on my own journey, and why did I create Love Entrepreneurs? I wanted to create a safe space for entrepreneurs of all different shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, backgrounds. Because I think it's truly, what really, really shook me was the fact that I suddenly had this new label of ex-offender. And because I had this label of ex-offender, everything I was previously, all my abilities or non-abilities, they seemed, they didn't exist. They were nullified and cancelled, and I was this new person. And that's fascinated me, always fascinated me, because I believe, if we start looking at boundaries, differences, ages, colors, creeds, whatever, we are preventing the true brilliance that we are from shining through. We really are. And we're not doing, not only ourselves, are we doing ourselves a disservice? We're doing life a disservice. I believe we're all here for a reason. So I wanted to create a safe space in Love Entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs to come together to share from the heart about what their problem is or what their challenge really is. Maybe it doesn't have to be a challenge, it could be an idea, but we do so by sharing experience, strength, and hope with each other so that we all become better business people, because nobody can know everything. I don't know everything. There's so much I lean on you for, Ollie. I don't know, but I know I can pick up the phone and there you are. Right. So I wanted to do that. And there are a few other things I did. I wanted to pick up with this creation of a new currency, because this idea of poverty fascinates me, because I've been, with the millions, and I'm now with the hood, right? So my main story is, when I do a story, it's called From Harrods to Holloway. Holloway was a women's prison in the UK, right?
Okay.
It's closed now, but that's the sort of strapline dinner party.
From Harrods to Holloway. Hey, you know what? That's a book, Illyri.
Oh no, my book title is going to be Too Rich to Be Poor.
Too Rich to Be Poor. Okay.
Exactly.
You got to do something with the Harrods to Holloway, though. Like, hurry up and do something with that so nobody else takes it. That's good. Like, let's use that.
No one else has got my story. No one else has got my story, so I claim that.
Let's do something with that.
So the idea is that, we have and as you know yourself, on a serious note, we support entrepreneurs, we really do support them. But the reason the book title is Too Rich to Be Poor was that is exactly what the woman in the benefits agency told me. But you can't be claiming benefits. You're too poor. You're too rich. Because there is a perception of, we go around on our daily living and we label everybody and everything. What I'm trying to get people to do is, by way of a fellowship of entrepreneurs, to start to listen to the similarities. Because it's not the differences that are going to make us millionaires. It is the similarity. No millionaire, billionaire, ask Elon Musk. None of them have ever gone, I want to be a billionaire or a gazillionaire today. It doesn't work like that. It works with having an idea that you're really passionate about and actually being able to push through the pain barrier in a really inspired and supportive community of people that will hold you. And they will love you even when you can't love yourself. That is key.
Listen, this story is so for those of you who don't know, I Illyria and I have fast become friends over the
Besties.
over the last year and change. And I've heard this story, but even hearing it now in this forum, it's just as gripping as when we talked about it before. And it's 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 a testament to the journey. Now, everybody's journey may not look like that. Everybody's journey may not mirror what yours is, right? But the thing that we want to get across is that this is a journey, and through that journey, you can pull out things, or things can be pulled out of you that you didn't even know you had, that you can now begin to share with a community of individuals who are attempting to travel the same road you are, right? I tell people often when I'm doing my coaching, I talk about the fact that I'm the same person you are. The difference between me and you is simply this: I'm a little bit further down the highway than you are. And the advantage of that is that I can say, hey, listen, when I passed mile marker 100, here's what I encountered. You're at mile marker 75. Make sure that you prepare for what's going to happen there, right? Just in case you meet it again. And I love that you are doing that for individuals with all of the multiple things that you have been able to create since that time where everything went crashing down. Talk about a roller coaster ride. You were doing this, got there, and then you came down, and now you're rising again. And the beauty of this thing called Love Entrepreneurs. And for those of you who are part of this The Life of an Entrepreneur is a show that we're attempting to do every Tuesday at this time. That's going to showcase entrepreneurs from all over the world. The goal of this community, Love Entrepreneurs, is to find yourself in a space where you can be inspired by folk like you, where you can be instructed by folk like Rob, where you can be empowered by folk like Lisa. And you're going to hear from Lisa in just a second. And you can take all of that now and bundle that into something that propels you into an extraordinary experience as it relates to being a great business person and running a great business. So I appreciate that you did that. Now, here's what I want you to talk about. Before we go, we're going to go to a quick break where we hear from Lisa. But before that, I want you to talk about, there's a signature piece that Love Entrepreneurs provides that is free. I should have done the free graphic on the screen that just the neon lights. Talk to us a little bit about that. And before you do that, let me just acknowledge everybody in the comments. David K, thank you for being here. We saw your comments. Rob said mindset is everything. Community. Neil, mentors shorten the learning curve. They can save you time. Absolutely. We saw a Spoiled Wives Club there earlier. Hey family, what's good? Thank you for being here. Thank you so much to all of you that are in the comments. I saw a journal earlier said love the story. People are commenting that they love the story. The story is inspirational. Now, let's talk about this thing.
Sure thing.
People can do for free.
Yeah, the secret sauce, ladies and gentlemen, the freebie bit is our main center of gravity, really. It's what we're about. And that's the big fix. So the idea of the big fix came about. So I know that you're familiar with, oh, yes, I go to a mastermind class, some people call it. And to my mind, that was all very grandiose and very, very important. And I thought, you know what? Some of the best mastermind classes you can get is to ask a really personal question or ask somebody to evaluate your business who you don't know. They don't know you. And they've got nothing in common with you at all. And you will get some of the most amazing, amazing ideas. And that's what we do. We invite businesses of all shapes and sizes to come on board and tell us what their problem is, their idea is, get solutions. They might have a specific question that they want to ask. No question too big, no question too small. But the guaranteed effect is you will get ideas beyond your wildest dreams because you're not busy. These people are not busy chopping the trees in the woods. They are taking that helicopter view of your business. And guess what, guys? It's free. You have nothing to lose. We do a curated video for you so you can record the comments, and we also do a written report for you, so you've really got nothing to lose. And of course, we hope that you will stay in Love Entrepreneurs and you will join it and you will come and do some coaching with us, and you may have some things that you can sell out also to the other members in the fellowship at maybe a reduced rate, so that because we like each other here. And of course, we've got our wonderful own currency that we use. We've hooked up with Silvertree, and all of us use and trade in this marvelous currency that converts basically our spare capacity, which is business we've never had before, into the equivalent of cash. So it's like win-win-win. So but I mean, I'm blessed that we can give this away free, because we're not doing this for money. We're doing this because I speak for you too, I guess, and everybody else as part of the team. We enjoy the process of creating something from nothing. So you start with a question. This happened last week with Eddie Allen, who's a phenomenal musician. We started with a very closed question, very closed comments, and then somebody came up with an absolute corker. Bang. Changed the whole dynamic, has now changed his business forever.
Wow. Now here's the thing, right? You're talking about the big fix. And Karen said the big fix was amazing. Karen is going to be on the show at some point, and she's going to talk about her experience. Karen went through this, right? Amazing for my business. It is great to hear the feedback from everyone who attended the session.
Yep.
Neil said, is there a link? We're getting to that in a second, Neil. We're getting to that in a second. Man, listen, Ed, you will love this, bro. I'm telling you, you and Debbie getting this big fix. Think about it like this, Ed. Think about it as being a mastermind where you're in the hot seat. The entire session is the spotlight focused on you, and you walk away with an incredible amount of value. Now, Illyria, you created this, but you also did one yourself. I also did one as well. Talk about your experience, even from the person who created it, because you would think the person who created it the person who creates it has all the answers, right?
No. So there I was, Miss Arrogant, thinking, I know it all. So I was invited to Oxford to stand in front of 150 guys, right, business people, all suited and booted. And I thought, started my speech, and it was all about Silvertree and, this digital currency. Will it work? Won't it work? Da, da, da. So I finished it. Silence. Nothing. And then the comments, so I thought they were going to give me a standing ovation. I thought, they were going to say, she's just come out of prison. What a fantastic ideas. And it's wonderful. No. They came up with 71 ideas, and they were so supportive. They were fantastic, these guys, and some of them are still with me now. 71 ideas I had not even contemplated. I hadn't even thought about them. They weren't even at the periphery of my mind.
Wow.
That's how powerful it was. And I thought, you know what? This is life-changing. Because the beautiful thing also, Oliver, you've seen, people refer to it as a networking group. No, it sort of is, and it can be a networking group, but it's not about, hello, I am blah, blah, and I'm fantastic. It's about all of us coming together and actually humbling ourselves and actually helping and focusing on one person to get the best out of them. And through that, we make some phenomenally amazing connections and really life-enduring connections and friendships.
Yeah.
That's the power of it, because we are a fellowship. We're not a networking group. We are something that will love you even when you cannot love yourself.
Indeed. Neil, okay, no problem. I'll connect with you. I'll send you Illyria's email. I'll shoot you a message after this.
And Neil, we're doing a live, I believe, at 6 p.m. on Thursday EST with some of the other members of the team. If you're interested, you can tune in. I'll send you a link, or you can email me.
So Illyria's email, I'll just throw it up now. Illyria's email. This is Illyria's email. Neil, I'll make sure that you get connected, because I want the two of you to have a conversation. Ed, I want you guys to have a conversation. There's many people in the comments that I want to connect Illyria with. So we'll make sure that happens. Let's do this real quick. I want to play something from Lisa. But you were talking about the fact that there were 71 ideas that came out of this process. And I just want to say from my experience, right? It Here's what I love about this space. And I know it sounds like a sales pitch. We're really not. It's not. Well, maybe it is. It is. Here's what I love about the space. What Juan Lee said, this is awesome. Let's connect. Ed, we will definitely connect. I'll get you all the information, and I want to connect you with Illyria as well. Same with you, Juan. Juan runs a nonprofit, which is phenomenal. Matter of fact, Illyria, you guys need to have a conversation. Here's what I love about the space. What I love about the space is that everybody literally is looking out for the best interest of everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that doesn't happen anywhere else. I'm not going to be naive enough to say that doesn't happen anywhere else. But I personally had not experienced something at that level where people weren't trying to take from me. They were literally trying to give me stuff. And Larry, we talked about this. It felt weird to me. And you and I had a conversation. I was like, okay, what's the catch? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is everybody trying to give me this stuff? What's happening here? But that is really what this space is all about. And the big fix, Larry pulled me in to do a big fix, and she was like, don't worry about it. It's free. Matter of fact, at the end of it, you will get a report with everything that was talked about, which I don't understand to this day how you do this every week, Larry. Put out this massive report that you put out that has everything in it.
95 words a minute.
I was like, and Larry can tell you, I was a skeptic in the beginning. I was like, hey, what do you want from me for this? It's like nothing. If you want to get coaching, which I did do, that's a whole nother topic. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't, come to the big fix. You can implement these ideas. We'll give them to you. And
one of the things, sorry to interrupt you. One of the things I wanted to say about the coaching, a lot of people are like, oh, they don't like paying for it. I always say to people, listen, we are so relaxed about when people pay us. I'm not saying don't pay us, but it's very much a sort of, if somebody can't afford to do it, we do a lot of stuff in silver. We if people need a payment arrangement that stretches 2 years, 3 years, that's okay. I am more interested in seeing your business thrive and survive than I am in taking your money.
Hey, listen, that's what's up. So here's the thing. Let's do this. I want to hear from Lisa, and then I want to get because what we come here for, we got your story. So those of you who are here with us, the point of the life of an entrepreneur is to hear the entrepreneur story. And you heard Larry's story is incredibly inspirational. She's gone through some stuff that many of us have not gone through. Story is incredibly inspirational. And I want to end it off with you giving some advice to those that are looking to get into the entrepreneurial space and those that are in the space, and then some specific advice for the industry that you're in. But before we do that, I would like to, again, because we're talking about the big fix, let's hear from somebody else who went through the big fix, and then we'll wrap it up with some great advice.
My name is Lisa Brown. I am the Managing Director of Solutions via Cerulean LLC, and I just had my big fix. And it was a great experience. There was a lot of great advice, information. It's been a long time since I've been in a brainstorming session like this, and I enjoyed myself. And I would implore you to come and try and get some insight from really great professionals who have a vast knowledge of different information and knowledge that can really help you in your business. So I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it, and I think I made some new friends.
That's it. That's Lisa Brown. Lisa Brown had a phenomenal big fix. So here's the thing. If you want to do a big fix, email Illyria or contact me. If you know me personally, shoot me a message on whatever platform you're watching this on. Shoot me a message. I'll get you in contact with Illyria so that you can set up your big fix. Now, for the backside of this, and Karen said the report is fantastic. It is, Karen. It's comprehensive is an understatement, right? Illyria's input was so helpful, providing great ideas and suggestions. Indeed, Karen. And Karen, I'll be reaching out to you so we can schedule to tell your story as well, your entrepreneurial story as well. So listen, we want to get some advice before we wrap this up. But before we do that, I got kind of a fun question for you, right? I see if you've had so many businesses, so just try to see if you can remember back to when you first got started. How did you celebrate your first client or your first property or whatever? Pick a first, because you've had many of them. Pick a first. How did you celebrate it?
The first, yeah, this is going to sound awful, but it's truthful. The first time, okay, so when I left law, which I loved, I really loved that. But I left law and I set up this, what was supposed to, I was driving back home from my parents' house in Cardiff, back to Bath where I live, over the bridge. And there's a bridge basically. And as I drove over the prow of the bridge, I had this sort of flash of inspiration. I remembered that I had seen a sign, a for sale sign or for rent sign or for lease sign on a property in where I live near London in St Albans. And then the inspiration came to me. That's it. I need to set up an agency selling foreign property, which is what I did. Because I was looking for something where I could be more flexible. I could take my daughter to nursery, pick her up, see her more, that sort of thing. And I remember sitting in that shop for 6 months, not having sold a bean, nothing, absolutely nothing. And I remember saying to my parents-in-law, it was actually, unfortunately, it was the tsunami that devastated it was parts of Asia, I think. It was Boxing Day. But honest to God, from January the 1st, I was deluged. It just didn't stop. And I actually bought myself a diamond pendant to signify my first property sale.
Nice.
Because I wanted, and I used to wear that all the time. The police took it, so I haven't got any more today. But the point is, it was a significant purchase. So I actually honoured myself. On a serious note, I actually honoured myself because I thought, yeah, you've done this. Because I did not believe that I could actually sell a property. I just didn't believe it. Seeing for me was believing.
Wow, that's awesome. Diamond pendant. Listen, and the reason why I asked that question,
very grandiose. Sorry about that.
No, hey, listen, I don't think there's a right or wrong. Some people may disagree with me. Celebrate, I'd say celebrate within your means, obviously, but I don't think there's a right or wrong. The reason why I asked that though is because on this journey, right, we have to be careful to celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
Often we are so concerned with hitting the next benchmark. And I'm not saying that you should not be. You absolutely should be looking to reach the benchmarks. But sometimes we're so tunnel visioned in reaching those benchmarks that we fail to acknowledge and or celebrate the milestones that are happening along the journey. Right. And so that's why I asked you that. How did you do that? And so the advice that I would give to those of you who are entrepreneurs, make sure that as you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, as you're checking all the boxes, so to speak, that you make sure that that you're not doing it at the expense of enjoying the various segments of the journey. So that's a good thing. So let's wrap this up. We're coming down to the end of this story. Ed Smith said he has to run. Thank you for being here, Ed. Definitely will connect. I'll get you Illyria's information. I want you and her to have a conversation specifically. I won't be the middleman for you, Neil, and all of the other individuals. You will talk to her directly and get information from her. So let's finish this up with some advice. Here's what I want to get from you, Illyria. Illyria is a wealth of knowledge, by the way. Let's just put it out there, right? What we didn't talk about is the fact that she owns a law firm. We didn't talk about that. But we didn't talk. We kind of touched on what you're doing with ex-offenders. We touched on that. We kind of touched on Silvertree. We're gonna have to come back and do a whole thing on just Silvertree alone because that's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. That's the only feeler I'm gonna put out there. You're just gonna have to come back. It's crazy. So we haven't touched on half of the stuff that she does. But with the Love Entrepreneurs piece or anything that you want to provide, what would you say what was a piece of advice? We're going to ask you for 2 pieces of advice. What's a piece of advice that you would give to aspiring entrepreneurs?
Do not fall into the category. Don't have contempt prior to investigation of anything at all. Always keep an open mind and remain teachable. Do not attach yourself to anything at all. Life is not to be attached to. Life is to enjoy. The beauty and the intricacy of life is about enjoying the moment and the gift. It is not about the end destination. We are on a journey that will never end. It'll end when we end, and we will carry on wherever it is we carry on. But enjoy the journey. There is no such thing as failure in entrepreneurship. Failure is when you stop trying or when you give up. So I would say one of the things that I would say, apart from contempt prior to investigation, is make sure you get yourself onto some kind of spiritual plan or program to support you with the energy shifts in mood in your life. When your head tells you, I can't, get some kind of group around you, whether it's Love Entrepreneurs, whether it's Love Entrepreneurs and some spirituality. I can't, try and get to the concept of something bigger than you in your life, so that you can find that there is a real purpose, much bigger than you, at play here. I think that's important, because that will hold you in the dark times, and there will be dark times, and that's what we're here for. Because when a problem shared is a problem halved, you won't be unique. No one has ever died from the disease of uniqueness. And and there is no point equally being the richest man in the graveyard or the richest woman in the graveyard, because what's the point? Life is about, if you look back on your lives, look back on my life. I remember the laughs, the happy times. I remember going to restaurants with friends or in the pub or whatever it is, laughing with friends. I don't remember, I had 10 million in the bank or what. I don't remember things like that. I remember the happy times and just laughing with friends, and that's free. There are many gifts in life which are free. So learn to cultivate that spiritual part of your being. Connect with your universe if you can. That is invaluable, and it's free. And there is huge inspiration that comes from up there too, if you're open to it. So open the energy channels and learn to channel yourself, because absolutely everybody has a reason and has a purpose to be here.
Wow. That actually answers the second question, which is
I'm a cheap day.
The second question is, was a piece of advice for those of us who are on the journey but kind of feel this is I don't know if this is really what I signed up for. But you just talked about what needs to happen in that vein as well. So listen, I appreciate you, but before I let you go, here's what I need you to do. How do we get in touch with you? I've been flashing your email on the screen, but is there any other way? Are you on LinkedIn? Are there any other ways?
I'm on LinkedIn, so it's Larry Harv Kostler LLM on LinkedIn. Anybody can have my WhatsApp number. I mean, I would prefer it, just use my number, WhatsApp me, that's fine. I don't run a Calendly simply because I've got to keep my diary quite tight, and I just don't have that flexibility at the moment. But ping me on WhatsApp if you want to find out more. I'll ping Oliver, whatever. If anybody wants to come and do a big fix, remember, guys, it's free. It's going to cost you not one dime, so you've got nothing to lose and everything to win and everything to gain. And it's a fantastic community to be in. But I just want to say this, I couldn't do it without, it's not all about me, it's about people like Lisa, Oliver, Rob, Peter, all the members of Love Entrepreneurs. We are a fellowship. We're all equal, and it's about the sum total of our communal knowledge,
Yeah.
that really makes the difference.
That's
So yeah,
excellent.
just connect away.
That is excellent. That is excellent. Listen, Aliri, I am so grateful that you have taken some time out. You have taken some time out, and I'm glad that we were able to start early with this. Listen, with this show, you are going to hear from entrepreneurs all over the globe, United States, the UK, South Africa, and beyond, who some of them are a part of this community, some of them are not, right? So it's sponsored
Yes,
by this
yes,
yet.
yes.
It's sponsored by this community that we feel like everybody should be a part of.
Yeah.
I can listen, I can tell for those of you who know me personally, you know the type of person I am. So if I'm saying that this is a phenomenal space to be in, it is indeed that. So, Aliri, thank you for your time. Listen, I'm going to send you backstage and wrap this up, but stay there because I need to talk to you when this is all over. All right.
Can I just have one last thing? So we
Absolutely.
run in the UK at the moment, UK time. We run Big Fix sessions every Wednesday,
Mhm.
2 to 3 UK time, which I believe is 10 to 11 o'clock EST time. And then we do the same thing on Thursday again, which is 1 till 2 UK time, or 8 till, I believe it's 8 till 9 EST time. So we do this every single week. So if anybody wants to come along, I can send my Zoom link to Oliver, whatever. He can send you a link, and just come. As I say, contempt prior to investigation
Mhm.
is a sin in my view. If it's not for you, fine.
Right. That
But
that'll work. So thank you again for that. We appreciate you. I'm gonna give you another round of applause. This is fantastic. Thanks for being a part of this. And stay there. We'll talk in just a few minutes. All right. We appreciate you. Oh, so Aliri actually took what I was about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you if you're not sure about the big fix, that's okay. We want you to come do the big fix because we know the value that you'll get. You can also visit and sit in and provide value. What better way to actually provide some value to someone else than to come sit in the big fix, right? So it is UK time on Thursdays. I'm in EST, so I'll give you EST. So EST time on Wednesdays is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. On Thursdays, it is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So reach out to me, reach out to Aliri, find us on LinkedIn or whatever platform that you might be watching this on. If you just like to attend just to see what it's like, we would love to have you as a part of that. Listen, I told you that Aliri's story was going to be phenomenal, right? I wanted to start out with her. We did Ed Crowther a couple weeks back, and I wanted to get Aliri in early so that you could hear her story, see how inspirational she is, see her energy, and understand why this community is the way it is because we have folk like Aliri at the helm. So I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning. This is a journey. The life of an entrepreneur is a journey. On that journey will be some great things. On that journey will be some challenging things. On that journey, you should be intentional about celebrating. On that journey, you should be intentional about self development. On that journey, you should be intentional about serving. Sometimes it's not all about what you get, but what you give. So, listen, thank you for being a part of this experience. We are aiming to be here every Tuesday at this time. Tell an entrepreneur, share it with somebody else. Let's get everybody in the room together because with everybody together, we can rise. I'm Oliver Marcel, author, speaker, coach in the relationship building and men's empowerment space. Connect with me wherever you see this video. And if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, it's a great experience. If you are an entrepreneur, you already know what the life of an entrepreneur is like. So listen, we're going to get out of here. This again is Life of an Entrepreneur, sponsored by Love Entrepreneurs, and we will see you in the next show. Peace.